Chapter 3, The Treehouse. Twyla, dear, you must stay in the old magnolia today. The winds will be fierce. The hawks warn me that twisters are pulling the leaves off of the trees, and it could blow a young Everfairy away. And whatever you do, don't take your wand out. Leave it safe in the trunk today. If anyone other than a fairy got a hold of your wand, it could upset the balance of magic in Everland. We don't want it to blow into bad hands. Twyla only half listened to her mother. She was much more focused on two little squirrels laughing and bouncing on the tree branch outside her small acorn-shaped window. Little did her mother know that Twyla was hiding the wand behind her back and magically bouncing the squirrels up and down, anxiously waiting to sneak out the window and join them. Twyla's gaze finally turned back to her mother, the good fairy Bridget. She looked tall and lovely in her soft, shimmering blue dress. Her long yellow hair was cascading from a ponytail crown of gold adorned with light blue gemstones, which matched her piercing blue eyes. Around her neck she wore a blue gemstone, an Everheart that glowed brightly. Before leaving the room, she opened a beautiful black oak trunk painted with large yellow magnolia blossoms. Looking around, she noticed Twyla's unmade bed, her magnolia petal blankets bundled up on the side of her black oak bed frame. The black ribbons were tied crooked on her yellow curtains, and matching pictures of her squirrel friends, Fritz and Hans, were hanging upside down on her bright pink walls. There were dresses thrown all over the room, and shoes were up on the shelves instead of the floor. This room needs a lot of work. You have plenty to do inside the tree today. Twyla pushed her nose into the air, fluttered her small wings, raised her eyebrow, and said, "Okay, mother dear," and she promptly pulled the wand out from behind her back. "I'll have it cleaned right away," she said, and just as she was about to use her magic wand to clean the room, her mother stopped her. "No, don't you use magic today. I told you to put that wand away," and she pointed to the trunk and closed the door. Twyla threw the wand into the trunk, and the good fairy closed the lid magically. "Now clean your room," she said, and closed the door. After the door closed, Twyla stood with her fists clenched down by the sides of her hot pink and black petal dress, and she yelled out, "Ooh, my room was clean!" Her fierce blue eyes were fuming mad as she swept her bangs aside and tightened the matching pink ribbon on her chestnut brown hair. Suddenly, all of the black oak furniture in her enchanted room magically came to life. Her closet door, named Dora, was the first to respond. "It wasn't me, Twyla dear. I left your clothes right where they belong," and she wiggled the hangers on her closet pole, showing the neatly hung dresses inside. "Betty, you pulled the covers off my bed, didn't you?" "I just made it this morning," said Twyla, frustrated, speaking to her enchanted black oak frame. "No, dear, I wouldn't do that to you. And I didn't throw those pajamas on the floor either," Betty responded indignantly. "Was it you, Shelley?" Twyla asked her bookshelf. "Why are all your shelves crooked, and how did my shoes get up there?" Twyla turned to the picture frames on her wall. "And why are you two upside down? Whirly and twirly, what are you doing?" The picture frames giggled and quickly spun right around, aligning themselves perfectly straight. Just then, Twyla's little wooden desk chair, Clara, tiptoed over to her and slipped her tiny wooden arm into Twyla's hand. "It was me, Twyla. I just wanted you to stay inside and play with us today. We miss you when you were gone." Vesta, the wooden desk, softly spoke up. "Yes, Twyla, I'll let you write pretty poems on me if you would like. We didn't mean to get you in trouble. We just wanted you to stay inside today." With a pout on her face, Twyla went to the window and looked out to the sky. She saw a soft breeze blowing a few leaves from the magnolia tree. "This is a great day. Those old hawks must be crazy. This wind is a perfect day to practice my flying. I'm sorry, dear friends, but it is such a beautiful day, and it's too beautiful to stay inside." Fritz and Hans, seeing that her mother was gone, crawled in through the window, one jumping onto each of her shoulders. They wore matching gray lederhosen with red flowers on the straps, and little gray hats adorned with a single baby hawk feather. "Come on, get your wand, let's play. I want to be a bouncing ball today," giggled Fritz. "But what about the twister?" asked Hans. "You heard what the good fairy said." "The sky looks good to me," replied Fritz eagerly. "What do you think, Twyla?" She looked at one of them, then looked at the other, and crinkled up her nose, and promptly opened the trunk to retrieve her wand. Bounce me up and down!" Fritz happily rolled onto the floor. His heart was giggling wildly. With the magic of the wand, the squirrels never got hurt when Twyla bounced them, because it was like bouncing on feather pillows. "I don't think the good fairy is going to be happy about this," said Hans. Twyla quickly brushed Hans off of her shoulder and onto the floor with a disgruntled look. "Shh," she said. "I don't need a conscience today." She then flew out of the window with such great speed that she didn't see the twister approaching beside the tree. Fritz and Hans clung to the window, frightened as the great wind pulled Twyla away. "Oh no, help me," she screamed. Just as the little squirrels were about to get sucked out of the window, the enchanted bedframe Betty reached out and grabbed onto their furry tails. Hans squealed at Fritz. "I told you we should have listened to the good fairy today. Now look what's happened. Our little Twyla has blown away." "Hold on tight, little Clara," the desk yelled out to her chair. After only a few seconds, the twister was gone, as quickly as it had come. The wind stopped, and the room was instantly still and quiet. Fritz and Hans looked to the sky with tears in their eyes as the good fairy, hearing Twyla's screams just a moment earlier, opened the door. Oh no, my child has been taken from me," she cried. Fritz and Hans both turned back to the good fairy and bowed their heads in shame. Capellio, Joey, and the girls were just getting off the shore when they heard Geppetto yelling back on the dock. "Come back, children, come back! Look behind you, look out!" Just then their boat began to twirl and whirl, and the twister lifted the children up and away. Geppetto cried out to Capellio, but he was too late. Rosie, hearing his cries, ran down to the shore from the house. With Pinocchio right on her heels. "What happened, Geppetto?" he asked. "Oh, Rosie and Pinocchio, your son has been taken by a twister. Oh, it's all my fault. I taught him to sneak off in that tiny little boat just so we could have fun all day. Now look what's happened. He got picked up and taken away." "Why weren't you watching him, father? What have you done?" said Pinocchio. "You have very few tasks. How could you let this happen?" "Oh, my poor son." "Oh, Pinocchio, you will never forgive your foolish father," Geppetto sobbed. "Our boy Capellio was lost in a giant twister." Up, up, and away, all the children were sucked up by the great wind that day.